Hi friends, welcome to my channel, Caffeine Queen Crafts. We are here tonight with a WIP and Chat. If you're new to the crafting YouTube community, which don't know how you decided to start with my channel, but welcome. WIP stands for work in progress. Chat is, I'm just gonna talk at you about my life and hopefully just keep you company with whatever's going on in your world. So, tonight we are working on, I forgot the original art. Hold on, let me grab it. We are working on Boreas, shocker, by John William Waterhouse. Hold on, sorry, getting the original art. I knew I forgot something when I sat down. Here we go, Boreas by John William Waterhouse. I started this on June 2nd for Summer with the Masters, which is an event that has since ended, but I am determined to finish it. I don't like to do the same WIP 2 years in a row for that, so I am on my last row. I probably have, after this one, I'll have 4 sections left after this one. So each one of these sections takes me about 4 hours, so about 16 hours worth of work, plus this, plus some change, roughly, left on this project. I'm not going to be loading up my pen tonight. This is my pen. It is from Diamond Art Club's Amazon storefront. I will have it along with the metal tip multi-placers I'm using linked down below. I don't have any affiliate links right now. I do this mostly for fun. At some point I will add that in, but for now, for fun. So, the pen. I like this pen because it's got a lot of the same color schemes, the greens, the purple, some white. It goes with the artwork. The tray is from Firefly, link down below. The putty in my multi-placer is Diamond Painting Putty by Cat. Fresh out the wash is the scent. Very clean, pretty scent. And then we have Easter Flowers from Pure Bliss Wax Co. I don't know if she still sells this specific scent. I got this in a grab bag of her discontinued scents. And it's very floral and nice. The cover minder is from Patty Wax. We're Distracted by Diamonds. And I believe that is it for materials. So, all of the stuff I'm using is linked down below. I'm not going to refill my pen because I did it just earlier today when I started working on this section. But that's what's in the pen. So we're just gonna dive right in. I don't like script my WIP and Chats, but I normally write notes about the stuff I want to talk about. I did not do that this time. So if this seems a little more disorganized than usual, I'm very sorry. How I have been doing this is I've been doing 2 colors in the darker sections of these trees here, and then 2 in the lighter sections. I'm currently on my and then like switching back and forth. So I'm on my second one of the lighter section color for this round that I have in my head, and we're doing the double sideways arrow symbol. Yeah. So in terms of diamond painting life, I have not been diamond painting as much because I started my job, but we'll talk more about that in a minute. I did finish the Crystal Ball 3D diamond painting kit from Make Market. I will link that video in the corner if you want to check out what it's like to diamond paint a 3D light-up image. I am not planning on doing that again. I did not care for it. I love the end results, and I love having the end results more than I love the process. So unless somebody shows me some really incredible 3D diamond painting kit that I think is worth it, that's not happening ever again. So enjoy that one. I tried it, so you don't have to, or so you go in with your eyes wide open, knowing exactly what you're getting yourself into. What else is going on in terms of diamond painting? In terms of diamond painting, My strategy this month, I am, after that crystal ball fiasco, I said in my WIP and Chat, before I started the crystal ball thing, I said I was not going to start any new WIPs, that I wanted to sort of clear the deck a little before Drills and Chills, which, if you don't know, that's a diamond painting event, the big diamond painting event that happens in the fall, and to participate it requires a finish. So I wanted to just wrap up some WIPs before Drills and Chills starts in September. And then immediately after I stopped filming that kit, 20 minutes later, I was like, well, I mean, I could do the crystal ball before Drills and Chills, so that way if people are considering doing that crystal ball for Drills and Chills, they'll know what they're getting themselves into. I have no self-control, but I did that. I am glad I did that, and so that crystal ball, though, from Make Market does absolutely qualify for Drills and Chills. To be qualifying for Drills and Chills, sorry, my cat just did the weirdest thing. She was like sitting on a chair next to me that was partially pushed in, and she like crawled out from under it. Like she was freaking Black Widow, like curved around it. I'm not describing it very well, but cats are low-key ninjas. She might be coming to say hi. Hi, Miso. I know. Nope, nope, nope. Not in Mama's glue. Not in Mama's glue. Not in Mama's glue. That's probably the sentence I say the most when I'm filming. Not in Mama's glue. Cats are not allowed in Mama's glue. No, they are not. Excuse me. This is Miso. She is putting her butt right in my face. Thank you for that. You are so rude. Yes, you are. You're a rude baby. She has been worse than usual in terms of her neediness because I have been at work. And she has been alone for the day, which is not... It's been almost 2 years since I stopped working. So poor thing. Poor thing. I know nobody loves you. Which is a lie. Everyone loves you and adores you. People come over and they just give you all the attention in the whole wide world. But you think you're neglected. I don't think she's on screen anymore, but she's sitting right on my arm, like right on my left arm. Which is why I'm not moving. Because if I move and I let the plastic up, cat hair will get in my glue, which is annoying. Yes, it is. And obviously, I'm disciplining her so super well by giving her pets while she does this. Totally reinforcing this behavior. This is completely and entirely my fault. Yes, it is. Mama the worst. Come over here. Come back to your chair. Come to your chair. No? No chair? Miso. I'm trying to film. Great. I'm just gonna keep talking for a minute. Visually, I'm sure this is not super interesting. No? Miso, come here. Thank you. Okay, so. I told myself I was gonna clear the deck, and I immediately did the crystal ball, but I decided I was gonna focus on finishing my the WIPs that I had going. I didn't finish anything in July, and so I thought in August I'm going to focus on finishing the WIPs that I had for events. So I have this one, obviously, which was for Summer with the Masters, and I have Be Happy. I did the Bumblebee by, why am I blanking? Carla Joseph, I think. I will have it linked below. I'm going to do a post review on that one, because that was from a new to me small shop, that kit, and I have some thoughts on it. And I decided I was going to finish the B1 first because it was smaller and it had more color blocking, so it would go quicker. So after I finished the crystal ball, I focused solely on my B kit, and I finished that one on, when did I finish that? Thursday. Yeah, I finished it Thursday. It's Saturday today. I did not diamond paint yesterday, which was very strange. But I had a lot of stuff going on yesterday. And then today is Saturday, and we are, so I pulled out obviously Boreas because I am going to finish this one this month definitely, and after that I'm going to work on, this is the last of the event kits that I had going into the month, but I am going to work on put that back in the wrong spot, sorry. Did I? No. Did I? I don't know what's going on anymore. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I just work here. Yeah, so basically what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, after I finish this one, I'm gonna work on Paint the Moon by Cuisine. I think I'm saying that wrong, which is from Amazon, Diamond Art Club's Amazon storefront. And that one I'm intending to give away as a gift to my daughter's daycare workers who are still working on opening their center. But I want to make sure I have it done before Drills and Chill starts. And anytime I have left over at the end of the month after I finished those projects, I am going to work on Elegance Fuchsia, which is my massive kit with 198 colors. So we're just sort of chucking along in that specific order. I'm not doing any new starts aside from the crystal ball, which I've already finished. I have this coaster set from Diamond Art Club that I want to do for my classroom because we need posters in my classroom because I drink a lot of iced coffee. But I'm not even letting myself, that's what the problem was. I put it color back in the wrong spot, sorry, my OCD. Literally, I have OCD, so nobody yell at me in the comments. That is actually my OCD. That, you know, is it my OCD or is that just me being type A? That's me being type A. It's not my actual OCD. I don't think anyone's going to die if I put my colors in out of order. It's just going to bother me. Maybe it is my OCD. I do actually have obsessive compulsive disorder, so sometimes it can be hard to tell. Is that just me being controlling and type A, or do I actually think something bad's going to happen if my colors are out of order? I'm inclined to say it's me being type A because I don't think anything bad is going to happen if my colors are out of order. It's just annoying. Fun little distinction that can be very complicated, and is probably more in depth than you were hoping to get with this WIP and Chat. So let's move on. And then I need to finish Boreas though, somewhat, not urgently, but I need to finish Boreas because I'm out of storage containers. All my storage containers are full because of Elegance Fuchsia. I have 4 Elizabeth Ward storage containers, and Elegance Fuchsia is taking up every single one of them. So if we want to start Drills and Chills, I need a storage container emptied out, and I would like to put, right now I have Boreas kitted up into my Diamond Art Club Elizabeth Ward style container, which I like the Diamond Art Club ones better than Elizabeth Ward, but Elizabeth Ward is cheaper, hence why I have more Elizabeth Ward than I do the Diamond Art Club one. Anyway, after I finish this, I want to kit up my Drills and Chills kit into the storage container that Boreas is in. So there's a bit of a necessity to finish Boreas, hence why we are working on it, obviously. And I'm not at all worried that I'm not going to finish this kit before the end of August. I'm hoping actually that I'll finish it this week. Not this week, it's Saturday, but like sometime next week. Before my next WIP and Chat, I'm hoping I'll have it done. Yes, so into the job. Normally I film my WIP and Chats on Thursday and post them on Saturday. I don't normally film my WIP and Chats on Saturday, but it is back to school. If you are new around here, I have been staying home with my daughter She is 18 months old. Since before she was born, I had to stop working in the second half of my pregnancy for medical reasons. But now we're back. I was blessed enough to be able to take some time off and stay home with her, but I needed to go back to work. My dad tried to talk me out of going back to work, but I needed to go back to work. I love her to death, and I don't think I was being the best parent as a stay-at-home mom because I was just sort of slowly losing my mind, and I wanted to get back to what I do, which is teach. I'm a teacher. And I went for a position at a school that I have some friends who work at that's a little more low-key. I was in special education before, and special education teachers are not always treated the best. They have the highest workload. Like, that's just facts in my opinion. They have the highest workload because they have a lot of legal documentation and everything that goes along with their jobs. They're overworked, anything, you know, they're paid the same. It's a real travesty. I've had some people in education say that if you're in special ed, you're a glutton for punishment. Not because of the kids. The kids tend to be the least complicated part, but because of the adults and how complicated that job position can be. So I took a position that is, my friend group, my special ed friend group has been joking and saying that I'm in special ed light now. There's this thing that comes before special education, in some cases, called response to intervention, where if you have a disability that's based in academics, like a learning disability, before someone can say, refer you to special education and have you be evaluated, they have to demonstrate that they've done interventions, like appropriate interventions, and that they have not worked. And that is called response to intervention, RTI. And so you wind up, schools have teachers that do RTI. And in my state, there's usually, in this area that I'm in at least, there's an RTI teacher for reading and an RTI teacher for math. And I'm at an elementary school where I will be doing interventions in reading. I'm just going to do reading interventions all day, which is awesome. I love doing reading interventions. That was like my favorite thing to do as a special education teacher. It's the same program that I was doing before, like the same curriculum and everything. It's just that when a child is in special education, they get it for more time than a child who is not in special education. So, you know, it's here we go. And also, obviously, if you're in special education, the child gets more legal protections and so on and so forth. It's all very complicated and convoluted, but it essentially amounts to, I'm not going to be anyone's caseworker and manager anymore. I'm not going to have to bring my work home at the end of every day to do grading and like evaluations and assessments. I'm not going to have to write individualized education plans or IEPs anymore, which is good because I am a single mom. Like, not, I'm divorced, like I used a donor and there is no one besides me. So at the end of the day, I'm just going to be able to sit down and spend time with my child, you know, which is good. I have to leave school every day at, not right at contract time, but right at about 30 minutes after contract time ends to go pick her up from daycare. So I'm like, you know what? This is going to provide better work-life balance. I will still get to do what I love, programs that I love and that I believe in. I'm just, you know, not going to have all of this other fun stuff that comes along with it. And the hoops that come along with special ed, but I still get to work very closely with special ed and my friends, which is nice. The first day of school was super fun. I got to meet the kids, see the kids, although I didn't really do anything that was part of my job. First day of school was Thursday, which is why I did not film on Thursday. But I got to spend time in one of my best friend's classrooms. They are a special education teacher, And I subbed in their room before last year when I was, you know, on days when I put my baby in daycare a couple days a week so that she would socialize with other people. And so that, in the words of my therapist, I was giving her the gift of bonding with other adults. I'm not saying in the words of my therapist because I don't believe that. I'm mostly making a joke. Is that all the S's? Yes, that's all the S's. Anyway, so on the days that she was in school in daycare last year, I would just go sub in various schools, including the one I'm at now. I kind of was treating it like we were in an ice cream parlor, and I was... Hold on. Sorry, I thought I heard something. I was treating it like we were sampling school districts before buying. Which, low-key, the lady at the district office who helped me set up my, validate that yes, I was qualified to sub. She told me that was what she did when I put the S away, I immediately see an S. That's what she did when she was going back to work after having a baby. Yeah. But I got to spend the day with my friend because they didn't have enough assistants in their room. And it was good. It was good for me to see the crew that they've got this year in the special ed department. Even though I don't work directly with those kids, I like knowing what everybody in the building's doing and what they're up to. Because each building's different. And then Friday, I helped out. We had like a boot camp where we went around and we showed the kids all the stuff. And then I started prepping for all the get to know you activities and to start assessing everyone's ability. So I got a lot done this week, which was really nice. I loved that. I'm trying to be pretty vague on the details because I don't think it's anyone's business what goes on at a school. I think it's going to be a good year. Going to learn a lot this year. New position, new job title, new area of education. It's not that different from what I used to do, but it's still, you know, it's different. It's a different grant. It's a different area of education, and I'm excited for it. I like learning and growing. Okay, we're going to do this J symbol, which is this very pale, pale, pale lavender, and I love that. So yeah, it's mostly been setting up the room this week and last week, so you haven't missed much. There was one thing. I had a friend from New York come visit because there was a play. I'm in the St. Louis area, and she texted me back in like May with a link to a play that was happening at a local theater, which I'm not going to be able to say it. It was in French. It was essentially just a French play version of The Birdcage. She texts me and she goes, this is one of my favorite actors ever doing this, you know, play, and I'm so excited, and this is one of my favorite plays, and I really wish that I could go, so I need you to go in my place. And I texted her back after looking at the dates, and I was like, it's playing for one weekend. Why can't you come? Like, you can go. She was like, no, I'd have to find a place to stay, and, you know, there'd be no one for me to go with. And I was like, oh, wow, if only you had a friend in the St. Louis area with a house that you could stay in who would go to that play with you. She laughed. And so she came out, and we saw the play. I had never seen, what was it? It was La Cage aux Folles, or something like that. It was The Cage of Fools, is what it translated to, and it was just the birdcage, but in play form. And it was really funny. It was very good. It made me miss Robin Williams. It's more French than the movie, which she gave me a very long lecture about the difference between the play and the movie, and essentially they were both birthed from the same source material. So, but we had a really good time, and I hadn't been to that theater in a very long time. It had been a minute, and it was just awesome. And obviously the baby did not come with us, but she stayed home with her grandpa and my aunt. And they said she was a dream. They always say she's a dream, though. Although I have to tell, this was a really funny story that happened the other day. It happened actually on Thursday, so on the first day of school. I had a call with my therapist right after school ended. Like, as soon as my contract time hit, I got on the phone with my therapist. And I wasn't going to be able to pick the little itty-bitty one up from daycare. And I was really, you know, I asked my dad to pick her up. And my dad, God bless him, is he was a very good father. He was a very good grandfather. He's a very good grandfather. He wasn't a very, I shouldn't say he was, he is. It's present tense. He also still is a very good father. He still is my father, but I'm rambling. He, you know, when I was a kid, every year he was responsible for picking me up from school. There'd be a day he forgot to get me. And I've only asked him to pick her up from daycare like twice. I don't want to say because of this, but I'm a control freak. That OCD again. And my anxiety has definitely been higher this week, which is totally expected. It's a new school year. I'm in a new job. I'm going back to work for the first time, like, since before I even had a baby. And I was like, okay, this is going to be part of working. Sometimes there are going to be days where I can't get home, and he has a car seat. He doesn't mind getting her. He can get her. He picks her up, and I come home about half an hour after pickup time. Like, my phone call ends, and I leave. I leave school. I go home. I come home, and I've beaten them home. Oh, my God. What happened? What? And he texted me that he had her. I got the notification on my phone from the daycare that she'd been signed out, which they didn't do just because he was picking her up. They do automatically. And I was like, what? Where are they? And I started freaking out, and I called my sister. She didn't answer because, you know, she was working because she works different hours than I do. And then I called one of my friends who works at the school, who was like my best friend. And she was like, Sarah, this is your anxiety. It's fine. He's doing grandpa things with her. I guarantee it. I'm like, nope, they've been in a car accident. Something terrible has happened. She's like, there's no evidence to support that. This is just your anxiety talking because, you know, there's a lot going on that you can't control right now. And you tend to freak out about that. And I promise you it's fine. And as I'm talking to her, I hear the garage door open. And I look out and I'm like, oh my God, they're pulling in. She's like, see, I told you they were fine. I'm like, I gotta let you go. So I let her go. My dad walks in with the baby. And I'm like, where were you? What happened? Why weren't you answering your phone? And he holds up a McDonald's bag. He's like, I got you a double cheeseburger and french fries. We stopped for Frosties and french fries because she loves ice cream and french fries like every toddler would. And I was like, oh, I see. My friend was right. He was buying her love. It's actually a very sweet story, and that's, you know, what a grandpa should do. When grandpa or grandma picks you up from school, they take you out for ice cream. That's just a given. So, you know, he was doing what he was supposed to do, and I was just busy having anxiety. Which I thought was really funny. My dad's the best. What else? That looks good. I like this. I love seeing, like, the shape of things and the dark versus light vibe. That looks pretty good. I'm going to do this R symbol here, though, because that's really standing out to me and bugging me. It's probably not the most prominent of the colors. That is coming next, but it's what we're going to do next. And then in terms of how my daughter's doing, we call her Holly. She has a code name. she's doing good. She's, you know, she came to the school open house and she was running down the halls, didn't want to leave, kept looking behind her and laughing. She liked being in the school. I think she likes it because, like, the halls are long. The classrooms were pretty open and easy to move through. It's like a new walker's dream. I shouldn't say she's a new walker now. She's super steady on her feet these days. You put her down and she'll go, 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 go. She's got a lot of thoughts and opinions about everything. So I have to stop the preschool teacher. In fact, every time I say, well, you know, my baby, the preschool teacher stops me and goes, Sarah, you have a toddler. I hate to tell you this, but that's not a baby, that's a toddler. She just had her 18-month checkup. She's doing pretty good. Like, you don't have a baby, you have a toddler, and I really hate that. Every time she says it, I'm like, ma'am, how dare you? Between you saying that to me and the pediatrician receptionist asking me if I'd like to schedule her 2-year checkup. What's the matter with you people? That's not possible. I can't have an almost 2-year-old. That's not a thing. But I do. She's technically closer to 2 than she is to 1. I'm not a fan of the toddler phase. I love her and I love everything about her, but like, I don't think I'll be as sad at the end of the toddler phase as I was at the end of the baby phase. If someone also could capture me saying that and replay it for me in like 2 years when I'm sobbing like, I don't have a toddler anymore. Like, Sarah? I don't know where time goes. I feel like it's just slipping away. There's a whole thing of J right there that I missed. Great, great. We're so skilled at this. This is the problem with confetti. So if you are new to diamond painting, color blocking. I did all the color blocking already because I hate color blocking. It's areas like this where the colors stay the same. You can multi-place for long periods of time. And confetti is more areas like what's left on this, where there's lots of little color changes. The color doesn't stay in your tray for as long. And in my case, it also means that you scan and you scan to make sure you've got it all. You're like, I've got it all. And then by law, the laws of physics, that when you put the color, when you dump the color out of your tray and you put it back in its storage container, you will look and you will see a massive section that you forgot to do. That's just the law. I don't know how it happened. It's just the law. Okay. What color shall we do next? I want to do a darker color because I just did 2 lighter colors. I feel like this diagonal arrow is kind of looking at me funny. It's staring me in the eye weird, so let's do that one. Well, my friend was also still in town. I meant to talk about this. I signed up I have too many projects. Like I have my my challenge to read through all the books in my TBR pile. And there's my like notebook detox thing that I got going for that. And then I've got all my WIPs. And even after drills and shells, I'm looking ahead to the, after drills and shells, once I finish that event. I've got 2 diamond painting kits that I would like to give as Christmas presents. One of which will need to be done by actual Christmas, the other one of which will not be done until my friends and I in like mid-January do a snarky Christmas gift exchange. Where we do the white elephant thing, and normally we give each other really terrible gifts, like we wrap things in duct tape or we make horrible traps for each other and everything and all that. And I was going to do a diamond painting that I found for that one because I thought it'd be cute. So I've got to do those two. Luckily, the one for my friends doesn't have to be done right at Christmas time. And I'm not going to get either one of them framed because I don't like getting diamond paintings framed if I'm not keeping them. Just because there's so many options on frames that would look good. And I don't know where someone's going to put this, you know, particular piece. And yeah. So I'm not going to get either one framed, so I don't have to factor that into my time thing, but they just need to get done. And because I was going slower than usual even before I went back to work, I'm a little worried about that. So I've got to finish those two, but then I also signed up for Flossy Fox is doing a stitch along, which some people are doing as a diamond painting. If you don't know what a stitch along is, it's often abbreviated as SAL or SAL. I don't know, I've never heard it said out loud, the abbreviation. It essentially is where once a month she will release part of the canvas, part of the pattern, the cross stitch pattern. So you stitch, you know, the part that she releases. And she releases about once a month, I want to say on the 10th or the 15th. I think it's the 15th. And it's the Flower Dragon Meadow is the theme. She released the first part, but I'm still waiting. I'm doing it not as a diamond painting because you can do it as a diamond painting, like as a diamond painting conversion, where you just get a blank canvas and the drills. Jaded Gem Shop, who did this kit, is actually selling kits where the conversion's already done for you, and you just have to, you buy her kit and then you buy the cross stitch pattern and you're a part of it. But I wanted to do it as an actual cross stitch because I do love cross stitch. I have a couple cross stitch projects going. I should start showing those in my month in review. It's a different thought. This star, I know the star is an AB, but it's looking at me funny too. It's gotta go. So I haven't gotten my floss in. That's the thread you use in cross stitch. I haven't gotten my floss in for that yet, so I can't start it. But I've got it all loaded up in my pattern keeper, and I'm really excited for that. I don't know when I'm gonna have time for that though. I just don't. This is my life. I start projects that I don't have time to finish. I wonder if my putty is too new for an AB. We're gonna find out together. For those of you that don't know, it's better to do ABs with older putty. I think it's okay. Knock on wood. Yeah, I'm still trying to finish. I have a cross stitch from Flossy Fox that I started for my classroom. It's Book Sweet Book, since it's, you know, a reading room. And I'm pumped for that. I have not finished that though. I'm only like a quarter of the way through it according to my pattern keeper, which is an app that cross stitchers use to keep track of where they are in their patterns. That's why it's called Pattern Keeper. So I got to focus on that a little bit more too. Basically just everything is a WIP. My reading is a WIP. My I'm blanking. My reading is a WIP. My cross stitch is a WIP. I've got those sticker scenes that I've been doing. I forget the technical name for them. ISO topic scenes. I don't know. You'll see them in my month in review for August because I started doing them this month. And I love them. They're like a quick, easy little project and very satisfying. And just too many WIPs. There's just so many WIPs, and I just need to, there's not enough time for me to finish all of them in the time span in which I would like to finish them. And still parent and do my job. I know it's only going to be worse now that I'm going back to work. But what can you do? Not a lot. All right, well, why don't we get into content? So, content I am consuming. I'm sure by now you're tired of hearing me say this, but I am still reading Manhunt by, I always want to say Ron Swanson. It's not Ron Swanson. It's something Swanson. It is about the 12-day manhunt to track down John Wilkes Booth after the Lincoln assassination. That book I'm going to tell you guys right now, in case you haven't noticed based off of how long it's taken me to get through it, because I've been reading it in little short bursts while my child is watching Sing over and over and over again. And that book is slow. I'm 100 pages in, and Lincoln is still alive. I thought the book was going to be about the manhunt, but at least a third of it is about the build-up to the assassination, which was interesting. There was stuff I had forgotten, or maybe never knew. Hi, Miso. Off my glue. There's stuff in there that is interesting that maybe I had forgotten, or maybe I never knew, but I'm enjoying learning about again. I've been on a bit of a Civil War kick because we've been to, when I went to New York, I went to Grant's Mausoleum, and I've been to the Grant House in the St. Louis area. If you're ever in town, I highly recommend it. It's good. Is that all the story? I felt like there was more of it. There was not. Okay. Okay. I'm going to put it away. And the second I put it away, I'm going to see more. That is the law. Oh. And then audiobooks. I have been making my way through the odds and ends section kind of the audiobooks. I am reading right now Just Mercy by Brian, starts with an S. Something. There was a movie made about it that Michael B. Jordan was in. I can picture Michael B. Jordan's face very easily. Oh my God, there's another star right there. I told you guys. I told you. And then I also listened to A Poisoned Passion while I was sitting out in my classroom. I had headphones in and there were no children in the building. Okay. But I did not disturb my coworkers with my true crime obsession. That one was about a unaliving where the wife unalived her husband using, look, there's even more of them. Oh my God, there's a whole freaking section of them. I'm putting them back in the tray. I'm putting them back in the tray. Oh, it's the law. It's the law. It's the law, Sarah. It's the law. You put them away, you find more. That is the law. And that was good. I remembered actually like about a quarter of the way through, I remembered that there had been a 2020 episode about this case. So I already knew how it ended, but I kept listening because, you know, it was a quick listen. But neither of those were in my detox notebook, and I realized that when I made the audiobook section of my detox notebook, I went with, I just clicked the unstarted tab in my Audible when I should have clicked the unfinished, because those were both books that I had started but that I hadn't finished. I had to restart. So now I'm going to have to go back and I'm going to have to make an edit to my notebook, which is fine. I want it to be accurate. And I had a feeling that there were some that I was missing because I was looking and while I made that, I was like, I thought there were more. So I left space in case I'm like, just in case. I left space. So it's not a big deal to add those. Not a big deal at all. All right, lighter color now. I'm kind of feeling this airplane. This airplane color. Yeah. We're doing 2 lights and then 2 darks. It's the cycle we're on with this. And then in terms of what I've been watching, I've been on a big true crime kick lately. I have not been feeling YouTube as much. which makes sense. I go through cycles with YouTube and true crime and really all of my content things. While my friend was in town, I did introduce her to K-pop Demon Hunter because I love my friend and I want her to be happy. She was very happy. She loved it. She hadn't seen it yet, but she loved it. And then I've been watching a lot of, you know, the Trainwreck series on Netflix. It's not even technically true crime. It's just documentaries about these weird, like, train wrecks that happen. Like, they had one on Balloon Boy. They had one about that Carnival Cruise where like the power went out, the toilet stopped working, and they were stuck there floating dead in the water for days. Like, just situations that went horribly, horribly wrong. And I watched their one about Storm Area 51, which I knew nothing about, but was a thing back in 2019, where, like, this guy, as a joke, made an event on Facebook called Storm Area 51, They Can't Stop All of Us. And essentially, you know, was just like, wouldn't it be, like, you know, it was a joke. He had, like, less than 100 followers. He didn't think it was gonna, like, anything was gonna happen. He put, like, a random date a few months in the future at, like, 3 a.m. We're all gonna meet here. We're all gonna storm Area 51. Isn't that funny? Like, and his account name was clearly, you know, written out in such a way where it was really obvious to people that it was a joke. But it went viral. It went, like, viral. Like, 1 million people said they were going to show up to Storm Area 51. And all this craziness happened. And they were like, well, what if we throw a music festival instead? And as part of this documentary, people started joking, well, this is going to be like Fyre Fest 2.0. Which, if you don't know Fyre Fest, you need to go Google it, because I can't even begin to describe that madness and insanity. And he was like, I didn't know what Fyre Fest was, so I watched some documentaries. And I was like, oh no, this is not what I want to be at all. No, you don't want to be Fyre Fest 2.0. Funny. I saw another star. Now, I don't see another star. That's the other part of the law, is that if you take a lot of time to pick out a drill in that symbol that you missed and saw, once you then look up again, you won't be able to find it. That is the law. Where was I when I saw it? I was down here. But I don't think it's down here. I'm going to set it aside. And I will set the drill aside. I'll see it in a second, I'm sure. Anyway. And that got me thinking. I was like, I have not watched, like, it's been a minute since I saw. First of all, I can't believe this kid didn't know what Fyre Fest was. Like, I feel like that was everywhere. And I'm not even the most on the internet person, and I even knew about Fyre Fest. So, you know, that made me rewatch the Fyre Fest documentaries on Netflix and Hulu. Still insane. I Googled it also because I was like, that guy has to be out of prison by now. He's just got to be. And so I Googled it and I looked it up, and sure enough, he is out of prison now. And apparently he tried to get Fyre Fest 2.0 going. And that did not work out, which I'm sure everyone was super shocked by. Please note the sarcasm. It's really kind of funny. And then apparently he wound up selling, according to the news sources that I saw, he wound up selling his whole brand on eBay. I wasn't aware we could sell brands on eBay, but apparently you can. So, it's our fun fact. Where are they now? I wish that documentaries would, like, update, like, when it's been a few years, so if you're rewatching, it's like, you know, so-and-so was released from prison and later did this other really crazy thing. Okay. Because, like, if you're watching a documentary about something and it was released, like, more than 3 years ago, you know the situation has changed drastically. But they never go back and update, which I understand. Like, when we were still on VHS and DVDs, you couldn't. But now I feel like, you know, you probably can. Streaming services. That being said, I know absolutely nothing about any of this. I am not a tech-savvy person in the least. There. That is where that star that I couldn't find before was. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay. Is that it for the airplanes? I think that might be it for the airplanes. I'm not seeing any more airplanes. I feel like there's always so much of a symbol, and then I do it, and I'm like, huh. It doesn't seem to make a difference at all. All right, we're going to do one more light color. Kind of see where everything's starting to take shape a little bit. It's nice. And then there was something else I watched recently that I enjoyed. Excuse me. What was it? Oh. I saw a bunch of clips about Erin Brockovich. For some reason, YouTube, the algorithm fed that to me. And I watched like a couple clips, and I was like, you know what? I will rewatch Erin Brockovich. That was a really good movie, and I rewatched it, and it is a good movie. It is a good movie. I think that the pacing's a little awkward at times, and there are a few points that I think are kind of far-fetched, but apparently are true. But I can totally see why Julia Roberts won some awards for that. If she didn't win awards for that, I don't know. Also, fun fact, the first time I saw that movie, I was like, I want to say I was a freshman in high school. Yeah, I think it was the summer between my freshman and my sophomore year was the first time I saw that movie. And so many of those dirty jokes went right over my head. Little Sarah was so innocent. She wasn't even that little. I would have been like, what, 15? Nope, I did not get most of those dirty jokes. I really, really didn't. Whew. Yeah. I did some Googling, and apparently, you know, the person, Erin Brockovich, is still around and still doing things. She was involved in the Flint stuff and is still doing consumer protection advocacy. She's not a paralegal anymore. Am I putting this on the wrong symbol? I am. I put it on the wrong symbol. I put it on the wrong symbol. Gosh. Darn it. Yeah, that's on the wrong symbol. Great. Smooth Mood Sarah. I'm like, oh, it's really weird that there's so much light colors in this. Nope. Nope, that was me. At least I only realized after a few. Like, at least I didn't get through most of it. Honestly, if I had made it much farther, like if I had made it farther, I probably would have just been like, oh, well, mistakes happen. No, I caught it. Oh, that was the right one. Okay. I think that was all of them. And if it wasn't, well, that's just too bad. All right, we're doing this little tree symbol here, not the other thing. Yeah. Ooh, so I watched Erin Brockovich. Loved that movie. I'd forgotten a lot of the details on that. And there were definitely parts that I did find far-fetched. I also learned through my Googling that apparently the real Erin Brockovich is in that movie. Yeah, she's like, there's a scene where Julia Roberts, that Erin Brockovich, you know, takes her kids out to a restaurant because she found a cockroach in her kitchen and she just can't deal, which, you know, on the few occasions I found a cockroach in my house when I was in my apartment when I was in New York, I reacted very similarly, so realistic. So there's an airplane. There's a bunch of airplanes right here. I hate my life. I hate my life. I don't hate my life. I hate this hobby. I don't hate this hobby. I love this hobby. I hate the law that says that I have to, as soon as I put the color away, I see more of it. It's a dumb law. I recognize that it is the law, and being a stickler for rules, I do my very best to follow that law. I don't hate anything. I'm frustrated. Let's look very carefully to see if there's any more of this tree ZiMPLE. There's one. I think we're good. Oh my God. It's just ridiculous. Ridiculous. Anyway, in the scene where she takes her kids out for food that Erin Brockovich does, the waitress that is taking their order is the real Erin Brockovich. She said in an interview she didn't want to do it. She didn't want to make a cameo in the movie. But the director talked her into it. It's like, come on, you'll always regret it. I don't know if she does regret it, if she would have regretted it or not, but I think it's kind of cool. I mean, she got to be in a scene with Julia Roberts. That's, you know, I wouldn't turn down that opportunity. Although it's highly doubtful anyone's ever going to make a movie about my life. If they did, what would it be? Reminds me of a joke I used to make. There was a book that I found at the bookstore once called Bisexual Disaster, and I looked at it and I was like, I don't recall writing a memoir. Ha ha ha, so funny. Okay. All right. And on that, having located finally what I think is the last airplane, knock on wood, we're gonna wrap up this WIP and Chat here. I think it's a little short tonight, but I'm tired. And there's a lot going on, but I don't want to go into too many details for obvious reasons. And it's just back to school. If you're a teacher, you know you know. If you're not a teacher, you can imagine. It's just back to school. Everything's important and nothing sticks in your brain. So, I'm going to leave it there for tonight. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you made it all the way to the end, why don't you leave me a tree emoji? And someone should tell me in the comments how many times I saw a color that I just put away out on the field again. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope that your caffeine is hitting just right and that your crafting is going super well. Bye.